Hi everyone, I've been talking to Wendy from Toonpish Crafts and we realised we've got a couple of things in common that we like. Dragons and the colour purple, obviously. Anyway, Wendy has very kindly agreed to do a collaboration with me and we thought, well, if we're going to do a theme, then we should incorporate dragons and the colour purple. So, here we go. Let's see what we both came up with. And thanks again, Wendy. I've decided to do something with this sphere and with this cute little dragon mould, and I've got handy a load of these are nail art powders, and that's a glittery thing of some sort. I don't know, some of these are from my old nail art kit from way back. This I believe shines purple too. Anyway, we'll see what happens, but my thoughts were to have a crystal ball with a little dragon draped over it like so. Right, let's get started. Okay, first colours that are going in here then. Really like this really pale purple. I've done a few with this lately. So I'm just going to get that into the base of the wings like so. It's kind of a pinky purpley, I don't know, lavender, is that what you'd call it? Don't know. So as we all know, mica powders, which is basically what these are, will stick to our resin. Yeah, let's try this one. So next colour I want to put in there, I want to take it so it goes deeper purple at the ends, I think. Do I or don't I? Yeah, let's go deeper purple at the ends. And let's have more of a blue purple. Let's try this one. You can see that's more of a, actually that looks very pale, doesn't it? No, okay. Let's try this one. I know this one's dark. There's a lot of colours I've got here that I want to get into this little chap, aren't there? Yeah, this one's quite dark. Now I'm just going to push that down the veins. Yeah, the bony bits of his wings. So you can see I'm not giving this a complete coverage because I want to get some of that other colour in there too. But as I'm sure you'll know from previous videos, that if you use mica powders into your silicone moulds, then the colours that come through first are the ones that you put on first. Ones that are actually against the silicone. So I kind of want to build up the colours here on the wings, I think. So now I'm going to go in and cover the whole thing with this one, which is a beautiful, they call it moonstone, something like that effect. This is all from my ancient nail art kit. I must have had some of these 20 years or more, I don't know. Those first, these black pots, these are new. Had those literally a couple of weeks. And this is a good example of how some of them don't look the colour that they appear to be when they're in the little pots. You can see how much more iridescent that is where it's on the surface of the mould. Broken my brush, look. The body, I want to get a little bit of this one. Now this is a really good example of one that doesn't look like what it does in the pot. You see where that dust's gone down onto my mat? It's basically a pink colour flip. Now what will happen with this is when you put your black resin on the back, you'll really see these the colours in this. While it's in the pot, you're probably not going to see much. However, let me paint a bit onto the side there. And again, you can see you've got like a pinky sheen. Yeah, so I only wanted a little bit. Then I've got to decide, just going everywhere, I've got to decide which of these greens. I think this one, because it's kind of bluey goldy. I don't know, it's just a nice all sorts of green, this one. again from my really old collection of nail powders. British Rose is the brand on these. I'll put you the links for certainly the new ones in the description below, and if I can then find the links for these older ones too, if they're still available, I'll pop the links for that in as well. Trying to make sure I get down into any nooks and crannies. I think this little guy's got some horns if I remember rightly. And as you can see, what's happening now is the new mica that I'm putting in, yeah, it's not sticking to the mould. And that's because that layer of purple's already in there. So let's see what he looks like when he's done. I'm going to splash out the excess, although you needn't. It'll only float up again anyway. And I'm going to fill this up with black resin, and I've made a right old lovely sparkly mess. The resin I'll be using is the 1:1 resin from Let Resin. It's quite shallow, good, but I think that will be, yeah, it'll work. It's happy enough with shallow pores. So I'm just going to mix that up 1:1. Give it a stir, chuck some black in it, and away we go. Now the crystal ball is a different matter. That is quite a deep pour, and I want to allow it a couple of days really to cure as well as a result. Using two different sorts of resin here then, as a result of all this. Be careful to use the right sort of resin for what you're doing. If you're going to do something that's really shallow, up to say, I don't know, a centimetre, something like that, like coasters and stuff, little shallow things like this, just a regular shallow pour resin is great. Now the sphere, I'm trying to think of my word there. It's going to be like a crystal ball, so I could just make it completely clear. However, I think what I will do is put some sparkle in it. So we'll come on to that next. Once this little guy's in, ready curing, I'll get on to mixing up the deeper pour resin, and you'll see how much thinner it is. So just have a note how quite thick this resin is. It pours slowly, it's quite thick. I've mixed way too much as usual. Now you can see with this one, I think you can probably see if we zoom you in, that there is the mica, the surplus mica is rising to the surface, so you end up with this really pretty back on it. There are quite a lot of bubbles in there. I'm going to give it a quick blast with my torch. Be careful with torches, you can wreck your moulds quite easily. But I'm going to pop him to one side now. Now, the deep pour resin I've got is a different brand. Just making sure my pot's clean. I've got a little mark in there. That's okay. This is a different brand. This is what I'm trying at the moment, and so far I'm impressed. It's called Arc. I'll put you the link for this as well. But this one is a different ratio. And as you can imagine, this sphere is going to use quite a bit. So this one we need 2 parts of one and 1 part of the other. It's easy to tell which. One bottle's twice the size of the other. So at the moment I've only put 20 in there, so I'm going to add another 40, which I can see that isn't going to be enough. I splashed a bit too much there. I can really see that isn't going to be enough. However, there we are. However, I can top it up in a moment. Let's get. So you can probably see, look, that is so much runnier. Okay, now I'm going to mix another pot up. Right, we're about, what are we, about 2/3 of the way up. So this time I will try to mix the exact amount I want it to. So 1 part of that, 2 parts of this. Okay, I'm sure I haven't left this long enough. This is me being impatient again. But I found my Mylar flake mix. This is just a random mix I put together with bits out of various pots ages ago. So yeah, I probably should have left it a bit longer, but yeah, you know me. So I just thought, put a little bit like that it'll probably all sink. That's the problem, because I've done it too soon. But I just wanted the tiniest bit of sparkle in there. We'll see. I can always come back and stir it again. But there we go. That's all I was going to do with the mylar flakes. Okay, see you later. Now normally what I would do is squirt a little bit of sudsy water down the sides of it, but I think this is going to go easy enough anyway. She says. The trick is loosening it all off first and then getting really quite fierce with it. These are some tight moulds. Rubber not as squishy as some of the ones I've got. Oh, and there we go. And it's got like some swirlies in it. Yes, the glitter did sink, but look, there's still some throughout it. Pleased with that. Okay. Now, the little dragon. Now, I am deliberately demoulding this little guy while he's still a bit soft, because I want to do some trimming. Oh, look at the purple. Oh, look at the purple. Sorry. Got a bit overexcited there. Yes. So look at the purples, as I was saying. Now, there we go. I can easily pull little bits of surplus away because they are very thin. The idea was to be able to wrap him around the top of the crystal ball. I suppose I could then put it on some sort of a base or whatever, but I think the main thing is to get him to wrap around the crystal ball first. And of course, stick his wings on. But look at those colours. Now that glitter didn't really do anything in the end of the tail. But those wings really did. And remember, one of those colours that are in the wings just looked like white in the little pot. There we go. I think I've got most of the extra, the overpour off. So thin. And little dragon, yes, he still feels bendy, but yeah, just wanted to show you close up the colours in here. So, never discount the possibility of using nail art materials for your resin. Now, what we want to do is sit him on top of here and see if he will wrap. Can you see what I'm doing there? Curving him over, and it looks very much like he wants to stick anyway, presumably because the resin is still slightly soft. However, what I'm going to be doing is just making sure that is fixed with a little dot of ultraviolet curing resin. Let's just make sure my lamp is on. Yeah. So here we go. And I'm going to go all the way along him. Even the bit that I don't necessarily want to be in contact with the globe. And I think that's just because it'll strengthen him up a little bit. He's quite a dainty little fella. Now, of course, because crystal ball, it's a crystal ball, isn't it? Because the crystal ball is clear, my UV lamp will go straight through it. So let's get him secured a little bit first, like so. Then I'm going to tip it over and hope the light goes through it from underneath. It should do. It's a big old piece of resin, but it should do. There we are. And then, in the same way, we're going to get the resin and stick his wings on. And I think they go about, let's have a look. Make sure I get them the right way around. They go like that, don't they? Oh, his little purple wings, don't they look lovely? Sorry, I get a bit excited about dragons. And of course these are still a little bit soft, so I could do something creative with these as well. I mean, you could be wrapping them around the sphere, really, couldn't he? He could, but I think I'm going to have them sticking up. Might need to give it a little bit of strength underneath as a result. Don't know. Let's just get the UV cured on there. To put a little bit more, I think. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to put some underneath as well. Ultraviolet curing resin makes a very good glue. So that will firm up, and I'll give it a polish and we'll do some photos. I'm now wondering whether to put the crystal ball on a base or something. I don't know. But there he is. Bit more ball cleaning up to do. You've got to keep your balls clean, haven't you? God, did I say that? Did I really say that? I can always get some, I usually find, would you believe, abrasive car polishes work really well on resin. If you've got to clean the surfaces up at all, give it a shine. Yeah, I mean, if it's really bad, you can sand it, but I don't really like sanding unless I have to. So I'm going to get it as clean as I can now. If there is any left on it, can I suggest, there's a car polish and stuff called Maguire's. Those who know me all know that I'm a bit obsessed with cleaning cars. And they make a product called Plastics. That's got an X on the end. Plastics. I'll put you a link for that, actually. It's blooming good stuff. And it is really good for polishing up anything plastic. I use it on the back, the plasticky windscreens on our little convertible cars. Things like that. But I found it's very good for a final finish on resin. Things like auto glim as well. Just the ordinary resin polish. They call it resin polish. I think it's got resin in it. I don't know. But that's abrasive. Autosol as well, that's quite abrasive. But I like Plastics because, yeah, look, there's a bit of a bloom on it there. That'll say bloom, it's just what I've got the UV resin. That Plastics stuff, it's a very mild abrasive and it is specifically for plastic surfaces. So I'll give it a rub over with some of that just to bring the shine up. And there we are. I am very pleased with that, I have to say. I really am. So yeah, I'll let him really firm up overnight and then I'll give that a polish and we'll do some photos. Right, if you enjoyed this video, then please do subscribe, and if you give me a thumbs up as well, that'd be great, because then I know that this is the sort of thing you enjoy watching. Massive thanks to Wendy. Wendy, I hope you approve of my half of our little collaboration here. We said something to do with dragons and include purple. I think that's done it. So I look forward to seeing Wendy's part of our little collaboration too. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you want to check out Wendy's videos, I'm sure you're already aware of Wendy. She's a very, very well-known resin artist, trades as Toonpish Crafts. Her link is down below in the description, and of course across the bottom of my homepage as well. So do go and check out her stuff. She is a very experienced and accomplished resin artist. So thanks again, Wendy. Great fun working with you, and thank you so much. And thank you everyone for watching.